Ch5 Lesson 7 is distance on the coordinate plane. So what you will learn says scan the lesson, predict 2 things you will learn about finding the distance on the coordinate plane. Here, we will use the Pythagorean theorem to find distance on the coordinate plane, right? And you're going to use the distance formula. Now I want to let you know that the distance formula is not going to be tested on your final test. Okay? I am going to go over it just because it's nice to have that knowledge. Okay? And then perhaps on your test I'll make that an extra credit. Is everybody clear? Alright, so let's look at the real world link. It says, Evan was biking on a trail. A map of the trail is shown. His brother timed his ride from point A to point B. What do the blue and red lines on the graph represent? So if I'm looking at that map over there, what do the blue lines represent?
The legs.
Those represent the legs. Very good. So the blue represent the legs of the right triangle. Okay? And the red line, what does that represent? Very good. The red line represents the hypotenuse. Very good. Number 2 says, what type of triangle is formed by those lines? That is a right triangle. Very good. That is a right triangle. Now it says, how can you find the length of segment AC and segment BC without counting the number of units? So, to find the distance of the horizontal side, okay, segment AC, to find this, right, we know that is the horizontal movement is the x-axis, right? So we know that the x-coordinates are the 3 and the 7. So in order for us to find the distance there without counting the boxes, we can just subtract 7 minus 3, right? For that distance right there, the up and down movement on the coordinate plane is the y value. The y coordinate is the second one. Does everybody see that? So in order to find those distances, we would subtract 9.5 minus 4. So to find line segment AC, we'll subtract the x-coordinates, and to subtract the BC, we'll subtract the y-coordinates. Now, what are the lengths of the 2 blue lines? So line AC, when we subtracted 7 minus 3, we got 4 units. And for BC, when we subtract 9.5 minus 4, we get 5.5. Very good. 5.5 units. Now we want to write an equation using the Pythagorean theorem that we can use to find the length of AB. AB is the red one right there. Okay? So we're going to use A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. And the equation that we would write would be 4 squared plus 5.5 squared is equal to C squared. And then to solve for C, we just simplify. There you go. So once you simplify, then we end up with 6.8 units, and that's the value of C, which is the distance of the red path. Is everybody clear? All right, very good. Find the distance on the coordinate plane. You can use the Pythagorean theorem to find the distance between 2 points on the coordinate plane. Okay, so here, in this first example, okay, you don't have to write this down because this is in your text pages. We're going to graph the ordered pairs 3, 0, and 7, -5. When we graph that, after we graph that, then we're going to find the distance C between the 2 points. And then we want to round to the nearest 10th. So here is 3, 0. Here is 7, -5. To find our legs, all you have to do, 1, 2, 3, 4, is count the squares, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 4 and 5. So there are the values for the A and B. 4 squared plus 5 squared equals C squared. And then we'll solve for C. So, of course, we're going to show our work in there. We've got 16 plus 25 is equal to C squared. C squared is equal to 41. And then what am I going to do with those? Take the square root on both sides. Very good. So C is equal to 6.4. Okay? So that tells us that this value right here, the blue C line, is 6.4 units. Okay? So let's do this one on our own. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to plot the 2 points that we're given. Okay? So we've got 1, 3. 1, 3 is right here. And we have -2, 4. -2, 4 right there. Okay? And we want to find the distance between the two. Okay? And the way we do that is we're going to find our values for our legs. So, for the Y, for the up and down leg is going to be what? Of course, that's going to be 1. Okay? And for the horizontal leg, that's going to be 1, 2, 3. Okay? All right. So now we can use our Pythagorean theorem, which is A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Okay? And either one goes in for A and B. So we've got 1 squared plus 3 squared is equal to C squared. So that's 1 plus 9 is equal to C squared. So 10 is equal to C squared. Then to get the C by itself, we will take the square root. Very good. So C is equal to, it says 3.16, right, units. But if I asked you to round to the nearest 10th, what would that be? C is equal to what? 3.2, and we would just say units. The distance formula, D, the distance between 2 points with coordinates x sub 1 and y sub 1 and x sub 2, y sub 2 is given by this formula. And just like we said in the real world link there, all we're going to do is subtract our x coordinates, right? And we will subtract our y coordinates. All right, so you can also use the distance formula to find the distance between 2 points on the coordinate plane. You can use the model from the key concept up here. You can use this formula right here. to see how the distance formula is based on the Pythagorean theorem. Okay? So if we started out with the Pythagorean theorem, c squared equals a squared plus b squared, or a squared plus b squared equals c squared, same thing. To get the a, like we said, to get the a, we subtracted the x values. Okay? So x of 2 minus x of 1, and then we're going to square it. To get the b, right there, we subtract the y values. Y sub 2 minus y sub 1, and then we square it. You see? So now, to get the c squared, to get it to become just the c, we're going to take the square root of both sides. Does everybody see that? So c is equal to the square root of all of this up here. It says, on the map, each unit represents 45 miles. West Point, New York, is located at 1.5, 2, and Annapolis, Maryland, is located at negative 1.5, negative 1.5. What is the approximate distance between West Point and Annapolis? Made on the map. Method 1 is just to count the boxes on the map. Okay? So here we've got A. We've got from here to here. That's 1, 2, 3. So Annapolis to this point, the x values is 3. And then from here up to West Point, that's 1, 2, 3 and a half. Okay? So once you put those numbers in, then you can see that C is equal to 4.6. Now, it says up here that 4.6, okay, each unit represents 45 miles. So you would take that 4.6 and multiply times 45 to get 207 miles away. Is everybody clear with that? The second method is just to use the distance formula. Okay? They told you where each school is, okay, on the map, and then what you're going to do is you are going to subtract your x values and subtract your y values. So, negative 1.5 minus 1.5 is a negative 3 squared. Negative 1.5 minus 2 is a negative 3.5 squared. Okay? And then all you have to do is simplify that. So negative 3 squared is 9. Negative 3.5 squared is 12.25. And then we're going to find the square root on both sides to get, again, 4.6. Is everybody clear? Cromwell Field is located at 2.3, 3.5. And Dudeau Field is at 1.5, 4.5 on a map. If each map unit is 1/10 of a mile, how far apart are the fields? All right, so the first thing we're going to do is write our distance formula. So there's a formula for the distance. Now we're just going to substitute in. There's 2.5 and 1.5 for my x values, right? So when we put those into the equation, we've got 2.5 minus 1.5, and we're going to square that. Plus the y values. Okay, now if I start with 2.5 and go to 1.5, I have to start with 3.5 and subtract 4.5. Okay, it has to be in the same order. So this is going to be 3.5 minus 4.5, and you're going to square that. So that is equal to 2.5 minus 1.5, of course, is 1, right? So that's 1 squared plus 3.5 minus 4.5 is negative 1 squared, right? Negative 1 squared. And now we'll just simplify that to get our distance. So we've got the square root of 1 plus negative 1 squared is 1. So the square root of 2 is, what'd you get? 1.4. Let's say 1.41, okay? 1.41 units. Okay? But is that my final answer? No, because it says that each unit is how much? Right. Each unit is 0.1, 1/10 of a mile. So now I have to take this and multiply it times. Let's do it like this. This times 0.1. Okay? So 1.41 times 0.1 gives us 0.14, and that is miles.